When I was young, I loved my phone. I used it all day. I watched videos, played games, and scrolled through pictures. I did not study much. I did not help at home. My mother always said, "Please, read a book or help me." I always answered, "Later, Mom. I am busy." But I was not really busy. I was just lazy and comfortable. Every morning I woke up late. My alarm rang many times, but I turned it off and went back to sleep. When I finally got up, I picked up my phone before I even got out of bed. I checked messages, watched short videos, and forgot about time. Sometimes I skipped breakfast because I was so slow. At the table, my family sat together and ate. My father talked about his work. My mother talked about the house. My younger sister talked about school, but I did not listen. I looked at my screen and smiled at funny videos. I lived in my own small world, inside my phone. One evening, my mother sat next to me on the sofa. She looked tired, but her voice was calm. She said, "Do you know how many hours you use your phone every day?" I laughed and said, "Maybe 3 hours. It's not that much." She shook her head and opened a screen time app. On this screen, I saw a big number, 8 hours. I felt a little shock in my chest. 8 hours every day, just looking at a bright screen. 8 hours with no exercise, no help, no study. But still, I said, "It's normal, Ma. Everyone uses their phone." She looked into my eyes and said quietly, "Everyone is not you. You have a family. You have dreams." I looked away and said nothing. Inside, I felt a small, uncomfortable feeling, but I pushed it away. I turned up the volume and watched another funny video. My mother did not say more. She just stood up and went to the kitchen. The next day was Saturday. I was happy because there was no school. I stayed awake very late on Friday night, playing games with friends. He slept at 2 a.m. In the morning, I woke up at 11 a.m. with a heavy head. I picked up my phone, but it did not turn on. I pressed the power button again and again. I plugged in the charger. Still nothing. The screen was black. I felt angry and scared. I ran to my mother. "Mom, my phone is broken." "Primera," shouted. She looked at me and did not look surprised. She said, "No, it is not broken." I turned it off. I stared at her. "Why did you do that?" She took a deep breath. "Because I love you," she said. "You are losing your real life inside a small screen." I folded my arms and said, "But I need my phone. All my friends use their phones." She answered, "Today, you will use your hands and your mind." She pointed to the kitchen. "Look," she said. The sink was full of dirty dishes. The floor needed cleaning. The clothes in the basket were not washed. "Today, you will help me with all of this." I did not want to help. I wanted to shout and go back to my room. But there was no phone, no games, no escape. I took a deep breath and went to the sink. The water was hot and full of soap. My hands felt strange because I never washed dishes before. I washed plates, cups, and spoons, one by one. The work was slow, and I felt bored. Then I swept the floor and cleaned under the table. Dust made me sneeze. My back started to hurt a little. At lunchtime, my mother gave me simple food. It was rice and vegetables, nothing special. There was no fancy dessert, no snacks, no fast food. But I was very hungry, so I ate everything. For the first time, I understood how much work was behind a simple meal. In the afternoon, my father came home early. He saw me in the kitchen with a broom in my hand. He looked surprised and smiled a little. "You are helping today," he said. I felt a small, new feeling inside. I felt a little proud. After lunch, my father asked me to help him fix a broken chair. We took the chair to the yard. He showed me how to use a screwdriver and a hammer. I held the chair while he fixed the legs. He let me tighten some screws by myself. It was not easy. My hands were not strong. Sometimes the screwdriver slipped, but my father was patient. He said, "It's okay, try again." We worked slowly together, and we did not look at any screens. When the chair was finally fixed, my father sighed, "Good job." Only 2 words, but they felt powerful. Those words stayed in my mind longer than any online like or heart. I touched the chair and thought, I helped to fix this. It was a new kind of happiness. In the evening, I sat on the sofa with no phone. The house was quiet. I listened to the sound of the TV from another room and the sound of cars outside. I also heard my own thoughts clearly. For the first time in a long time, I remembered the 8 hours on the Screen Time app. My mother came and sat next to me again. She did not shout. She did not say, "I told you so." She just asked, "How was your day?" I said, "Tiring." Then I added softly, "But different." She smiled. "This is real life," she said. "Real life is cooking, cleaning, fixing, talking, thinking. It is not always easy, but it is real." I stayed quiet and looked at my hands. They had small red marks from the hot water and the tools. I suddenly felt respect for her and for my father. The next morning was Sunday. I woke up earlier than usual, without an alarm. The room felt calm. There was no bright light from my phone screen. I went to the kitchen and started to make tea. My mother came in and looked surprised. "You are awake," she said. "Yes," I answered. "I want to help." She smiled and showed me how to prepare breakfast. I broke the eggs carefully and put bread in the toaster. The smell of food filled the kitchen. After breakfast, I asked, "Mom, can I have my phone back?" She looked serious and said, "You can have it, but with rules." "What rules?" "Primera, ask it," she said. "First, you help at home. Second, you study. Then you use your phone for a short time." This time, I did not argue. He just nodded. I went to my room and opened my English book. At first, it was hard to focus. My eyes wanted to look at a screen. My fingers wanted to swipe, but I told myself, just 30 minutes. Try. I read a short passage and wrote 5 new words in a notebook. The new words were simple, but they felt important. I said them out loud. Effort, focus, future, respect, balance. I wrote one simple sentence with each word. Slowly, my fear of studying became smaller. I started to believe I could learn. Later that day, my father asked me to go with him to the small market. We walked past people selling vegetables, fruit, and bread. I saw many people working hard in the sun. Some of them looked tired, but they did not stop. They moved quickly and spoke to many customers. My father said, "Look at them. They work every day to support their families." I watched a man cutting vegetables very fast. His hands moved with practice and skill. I saw a woman arranging fruit neatly, making it look beautiful for buyers. They did not have time to sit and look at their phones. They were busy living and working. We bought some food and walked home. On the way, my father said, "Work is not always fun, but it gives life meaning." I thought about my day of cleaning and fixing. It was hard, but I remembered how I felt when the chair was fixed and the kitchen was clean. It was a quiet, deep happiness. That evening, my mother gave my phone back to me, but now, the phone felt different in my hand. It was no longer my whole world. It was only a small part of my day. I put it on the table and did not pick it up immediately. From that week, I changed my routine step by step. In the morning, I made my bed and opened the window to let in fresh air. I helped in the kitchen before school. After school, I studied for 1 hour English, math, or another subject. Only after that did I use my phone, and only for a short time. At first, it was difficult. Sometimes I wanted to go back to my old habits. Sometimes I felt bored or restless without my phone in my hand. But each day, it became a little easier. My mind started to feel clearer and stronger. After a few weeks, my grades at school improved. My teacher said, "You are more focused now." What changed? I smiled and answered, "I changed my routine." My parents also noticed the difference. They looked happier and less worried. Our home slowly felt more peaceful. We talked more at the table. We shared stories from our day. Sometimes we even laughed together without any screens. I began to feel closer to my family. Now, when I see my phone on the table, I still like it. I still watch videos and play games. But not all day. I remember that my hands can clean, cook, fix, write, not just hold a phone. I remember that my mind can learn new words, new ideas, and new skills. I remember that my heart feels warm when I help the people I love. I used to think an easy life was the best life. No work, no effort, only fun. Now I understand something different. A good life is not always easy, but it is balanced. There is time for work, time for rest, and time for play. That is how I truly grow and prepare for my future. My mother did something hard when she turned off my phone. At first, I was angry, but now I am grateful. Her decision was my wake-up call. Because of that day, I started to wake up not just from sleep, but inside my mind. Now I am ready to live my life, not just watch it on a screen.